Good afternoon, friends. Well, Russian propaganda is starting to limp a bit. Creativity is fading away, and the messages they spread are reduced to the primitive we call white-black. In particular, the Kremlin press secretary Peskov made a statement where he said that having launched an attack on Ukraine, Russian leadership has allegedly instructed its occupying army not to shell large cities. At the beginning of the operation in Ukraine, Putin instructed not to immediately shell the cities, including Kyiv, because of the deployment of militant weapons there. This is what Peskov said. Of course, Ukraine and the whole world can see how true these statements are by reviewing the chronicles of destruction in Kharkiv, Volnovakha, Chernihiv and other cities of Ukraine that are being wiped off the face of the earth. This propaganda is designed for absolutely primitive consumption, mainly for the domestic Russian market. Another primitive fake thrown by Russian propaganda through their mouthpiece, Russia Today, is that, let us just think about it, at the expense of Russian taxpayers, an office that spreads lies to the whole world is being maintained, although now it's getting smaller and smaller audience. So they are spreading a fake that President Zelensky did not visit wounded soldiers in the hospital and that he is not in Kyiv. To them it seems that we are publishing chronicles recorded on the eve of the war, although again this propaganda can be easily destroyed. President Zelensky regularly records his video messages at different locations in Kyiv. And why does Russia throw in this propaganda nonsense? Because they cannot have the openness of their president, who is in an unidentified location, avoids contacts with people, uses various technologies, such as recordings on a green background, in order to create the illusion of openness. And realizing that they cannot oppose Zelensky with an equal amount of openness on their part, they begin to spread lies about the alleged absence of President Zelensky in Kyiv, or about the videos recorded on the eve of the war, which are now supposedly being published. It is not true. The president is in Kyiv, and every day he proves it with his video messages. Another fake thrown by Russian propaganda, unfortunately, concerns a tragic event associated with the murder of an American journalist who was killed while trying to leave Irpin. Brent Renault, who was killed, Russian propaganda tries to pass him off as an alleged American intelligence officer previously involved in operations in Iraq and Afghanistan. At the same time, they tried to question his status as an American journalist after the New York Times said he was not authorized to act on the territory of Ukraine on behalf of them. The truth is that for a certain time in the past he really did not work for New York Times. And now, while in Ukraine, he was doing material for another influential, well-known American magazine, Time. In addition, Brent Renault is a well-known director, the author of many films about military operations in different parts of the world that have received rewards. Thus, by destroying the American journalist, Russian propaganda is trying to downplay the fact of this event, calling into question its status. It also got to the point that they are already starting to blame Ukraine for the murder of this reporter, which of course is not true. So the response of the Ukrainian state to Russian propaganda for unleashing an aggressive war was putting the well-known Russian propagandist and fake thrower Volodymyr on the international wanted list. On March the 14th, one of the courts in Lviv granted the request of the investigator for especially important cases of the State Bureau of Investigation to choose imprisonment as the measure of restraint. The reason for this is that on March the 11th, according to the results of the collected evidence in criminal proceedings, Solovyev was informed of the suspicion of public calls to change the state border of Ukraine, which led to serious consequences and deaths of people. Well, Russian propaganda seems to be fizzling out just like the Russian army. We will not wish them new creativity, but we will wish them a quick capitulation. Ukraine remains strong, urges everyone to critical thinking, to trust in the Ukrainian armed forces and the Ukrainian political leadership. Thank you for the attention.